Hi, friends. Hi, hello. What's happening? I have now officially gone live more this week than I have ever. So maybe this is a new thing for me. No, that's not necessarily true, but I've definitely gone live a lot this week. And mainly it's because I'm fired up. I'm excited. So, hi everyone who's joining live. I am going to talk a little bit about the astrological birth chart today. I was going to write an email about this, but maybe it's because we just entered Libra season, or maybe it's because I've been writing a lot of emails recently, but I'm not feeling the email on this. I felt like getting on here and talking to camera and talking to you all. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk a little bit about this bad boy, which is the astrological birth chart. And specifically, I'm going to share how I use it, how I've used it for my own personal development, and how I use it in my work, both my work with my one-on-one coaching clients and my work in your stellar center. So hello, everyone who's joining live. I am here chatting about the astrological birth chart. So if you are live and you know what a birth chart is, go ahead and give me a wave in the comments. We don't have that many people live. I mean, it's 4 p.m. on a Tuesday when I decided to do this. But when inspiration strikes, sometimes you got to go with it. But if you're here live and you know what an astrological birth chart is, give me a little wave in the comments, or a star, or your favorite emoji. And if you're watching this replay and you know about the astrological birth chart, give me a holler. Let me know. And if you don't, no worries. I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to share about it. This is something that, I didn't know about until very recently, like the last few years. And it truly opened up my world in so many ways. So I'll start with a personal story. I'm a Pisces, in case y'all didn't know that already. I feel like I talk about it a lot, but maybe you didn't know that. I'm a Pisces. And when I was a little girl, and when I say Pisces, I mean my sun sign is in Pisces, which I'll talk about in just a moment. I was born in March, and that's the month. Well, Aquarius is in that month, or Aries is in that month as well. But I was born in March. When the sun was aligned with the constellation Pisces. And so all I knew growing up until the last 5 years or so was that I'm a Pisces. And I would read these horoscope books about Pisces, which, by the way, horoscope books are very one-dimensional. Horoscopes in the backs of magazines or newspapers are very one-dimensional. Hi, everyone. If you're just joining live, I'm talking about the astrological birth chart. And I'm sharing how I got into learning about astrology and how I use it in my work. So, astrological birth chart, I had no idea what this was. I just knew I was a Pisces. I was reading about how I was so sensitive and emotional and creative. And some of those things resonated with me. Some of them I probably ignored because they weren't thought of as positive traits in the society or in the schooling system that I was brought up in. It's like math and science, do your work. That's what's going to make you successful. That's a story for another share. But anyways, I didn't fully identify with this idea of as a Pisces. I'm like, sure, I'm kind of sensitive and I like to be creative. I love doing projects. And also I'm a straight A student. I like to read books. I like structure and format, and my birth chart actually tells me a little bit more why that is. So what is the astrological birth chart? This is what it looks like, and if you want to read the notes, but this is what it looks like. It's like this complicated chart thing, and it is you can go into so many details with the birth chart, but what I want to do today is just introduce what it is and why you might want to look yours up, or why you might want to get interested in this for you. So the astrological birth chart, also known as a natal chart, or just some people might refer it to it as your chart, is a map based on where the planets and the stars were positioned at the time, date, and from the place of your birth. So in order to look up your astrological birth chart, you will need your day of birth, which hopefully you know. Your time of birth, that might be a little bit more challenging, and then the place of your birth. So you need that information to look up your birth chart. And you can get some information if you don't know the time, but it is really powerful if you know the time. Revitalize and Thrive said, funny, I just had my star chart read on Saturday, and it was insane how much the other planets impacted my whole being. Virgo sun, Cancer rising, Taurus moon, but apparently 3 others in Scorpio. Yeah, it can be a game changer because the birth chart helps you understand that you are not just one thing. And it can help. What I've learned from the birth chart is that it helps me articulate. It helps me, one, get interested in the different parts of myself, because we're all multifaceted beings. It helps me understand where I might be strong, where I might have a tendency to go with my life, with my love life, with my work, and where might be a challenge for you. So the birth chart is a map of where everything was. And what most people know is their sun sign. So where the sun was at the time of your birth. Like I said, I'm a Pisces. So most people know what that is for you. If you're watching this live and you know what your sun sign is, leave it in the chat or leave it as a comment. I always love to know what people's sun signs are. And oftentimes the sun sign tells a lot about who you are. Because in astrology, the sun it's the biggest planet. It's not a planet, it's a star, but it's the biggest body in our solar system, and it has a big pull on us. It represents your personality, your ego, how you might be out in the world. And so you likely do resonate with some qualities of your sun sign. So Diana said she's an Aquarius. Awesome. We're like close birthday buddies. I'm more at the middle end of Pisces, but in the similar season. But the sun, it wasn't the only planet that was aligned with a constellation at the time of your birth. All the other planets in our solar system, as well as some like placements, which we won't go into, were lined up with specific astrological signs, and all of those have something to say about your personality and your path in this lifetime. If you buy into the astrology, and I even want to challenge you to say, if you don't buy into the astrology, that's fine. You're probably not watching this video. Maybe you are. You don't have to buy into astrology. Use this as a tool for self-inquiry. That's how I use astrology and why I use it for myself, and now why I use it in all of my work, in my one-on-one coaching programs, in my group coaching program. It's what Your Stellar Center, my group coaching program, is all about, and it is also going to be woven into my new mastermind group, because it is a powerful form of self-inquiry and reflection. And so just for an example, I'll share, I know my chart the best, so I'm going to share a little bit about my chart. My sun is in Pisces. I also have a moon in Pisces, so I do relate to a lot of those Piscean qualities. But I also have a lot of planets in Capricorn. And Capricorn is one of the hardest workers of the zodiac. It's an earth sign, typically very organized, very practical, will get it done. And so, and for me specifically, my Saturn is the planet connected to your life's work, and also your life's lessons. My Saturn is in Capricorn. So it makes sense that I'm a hard worker, even though Pisces is very dreamy, very imaginative, very out there. I once had an astrologer look at my chart and say, if I didn't see all this Capricorn in your chart, if I just looked at your sun and your moon, and I have a few other planets in Pisces, if I just looked at that, I would be so surprised to see how much you've gotten done with your business, because he had looked at my website beforehand. But he's like, but now that I see this earthy nature, this Capricorn in your chart, it makes a lot more sense. And for me, learning about my birth chart, like I said, has helped me step into my strengths, identify my strengths, notice the places where I might get stuck or might be a challenge for me. It's also helped me accept the multifaceted human that I am. I can be sensitive and I can be a hard worker. I can be a dreamer and I can also be really practical. And you have those facets too. You have those maybe what might feel like contradictions, complexities too. And so I guess where I want to go from here is I'm not, I should say that I'm not an astrologer by trade. I am a coach by trade. So this is a tool. This is one of the tools in my tool belt that I use within my work as an empowerment, as a self-development, a self-inquiry, and an empowerment tool. I don't necessarily look at astrology because we can look at it beyond the birth chart. We might say, oh, what's happening in the planets? When is the perfect time where I'm going to meet a perfect partner? I don't go there. There are plenty of people that do, and I like to follow some of those accounts because it is nice to sense like, ooh, Mercury in retrograde. Good to know. Like, I'm going to be really clear about my communication for the next few weeks. But I really love it as a self-inquiry and a self-empowerment tool. And that's why I started bringing it into my one-on-one work with coaching clients a few years back, and why I've created a whole program. The whole program is not just around the birth chart, but it is, we use astrology to understand ourselves and understand how we can show up in the world in a more aligned, more authentic, and more fluid way. So if you're interested in learning more about your birth chart and interested in learning more about astrology in general, I would love to invite you to join my group coaching program, Your Stellar Center. As the name implies, it is, well, maybe the name doesn't imply that for you, but stellar is the key word there. We talk about astrology, but we use astrology as a means for personal growth. So how this program is structured, I've shared a little bit about this program, but I did want to hop on here and share a little bit more specifically how we look at the birth chart and what you might learn about your birth chart in this group. So we use the seasons of astrology. I use the seasons of astrology in this group to hone in on different areas of personal development, self-development. So every month we have a theme that we focus on connected to the sign of the month. And we have a coaching call, a one call per month where I introduce the astrology of the month. And by astrology, I mean the sign. So I have a workbook here. This is another part of the program. You get workbooks. This is from Taurus season. So in Taurus season, Taurus is another earth sign like Capricorn. And in this season, I'm going to look back and see what we talked about. We talked about creating a home practice. So what that looks like for you, as far as like a physical practice or a movement practice, something to come back to your home that is your body. And then we also talked about conditions to thrive as far as your physical realm. So we use we learn about the signs of astrology and use them to learn about ourselves. And at the same time, as we're introducing, or as I'm introducing these different signs in the group, as they come about throughout the year, we're looking at the birth chart because it's like, okay, the astrology of the month, let's use right now. We just entered into Libra season. That can tell us something about what's going on with the collective. So it helps us tune in to what's going on. I'm putting my hands out here. There might be some general themes with Libra that come up. And then we can also look to the birth chart. Where does this sign show up in your chart? For me, I'm a Libra rising. This is the place of the birth chart that you need your time of birth to find out. But your rising sign, how I teach about it is, it might be what people might see this in you. They might see this potential in you. They might see it come through in you. And really, it's something that you're rising into. You're evolving into. So Libra rising for me, with all my like Pisces water energy, Capricorn earth energy, means like I'm rising into more balance, more harmony, more beauty. But where was I going with that? So we use the astrology to look out what's going on in the world around us, and also to look in. How does this impact me? And the rising sign is a really great one to look at for your own growth and your own development, because like I said, it's something that you are evolving into. So I'm going to quickly go over, actually, I'm not going to quickly go over what's in the program. I want to touch on the points, just a few more points about the birth chart and how you'll learn about your birth chart in your stellar center. If you want to learn more about this group, I'm enrolling through this Friday, September 25th. There's a link in my bio. It's also linked on my website, so you can find it many places. Maybe after this video, I'll link a video where I talked more generally about my intention with the program. But within the birth chart, not only will we be studying the signs each month, so in Libra season, we study Libra. In Scorpio season, we study Scorpio and the themes of that sign and the strategies of that sign. So you'll learn about all 12 of the zodiac signs if you stay in the program for the full year. And then you're also prompted throughout the group to find, or throughout the program to find, those pieces within your chart. And so, like I said, this month is Libra. I'm going to be looking at my Libra rising. And if we don't, and the other cool thing that we do in this group is we look at each other's charts. So it's a group coaching program for a reason. I've done a lot of one-on-one coaching. I still love one-on-one coaching. But as I've progressed in my career, it has felt more exciting to me, more effective, and more magical to do this in group work, because maybe I don't have, let's say, Scorpio in my chart, and it's Scorpio season. We're learning about Scorpio, and I can't really put a face with a name for Scorpio because I don't know anyone. Well, in your stellar center, in one of our coaching calls for the month, we're going to have a spotlight on someone's chart who does have Scorpio in their chart. And so that way, you'll not only get to know the other folks in the group, you'll start to understand how the astrology plays out in real life. Again, the purpose of this is not to be able to predict the future or to be able to memorize like what Venus in Taurus means. It's to say, okay, I see that my partner has a Venus in Taurus. How does that work in our dynamic? Or I see that my best friend is a Mercury in Scorpio. How can I use that to be more compassionate, or be more understanding, or be more open to how we communicate with one another? And so we'll look at the individual birth charts in what I call star seats, which are a combination of a birth chart reading and also some laser focused coaching in one of our calls for the month. So my call to action to you is, one, if you haven't looked up your birth chart, look it up. Oh, and I forgot one last thing, but I'll say my call to action first. Call to action is, one, if you're interested in this, if this feels interesting or exciting to you, look up your birth chart. You can look it up on astro.com. Again, you'll need your time, place, and date of birth. And you'll want to look up a chart drawing ascendant. That's the one that you want to look up to get this bad boy. There's a lot of different sites out there. You can use any of them probably. So look up your birth chart, have it. And then my second call to action is, if you're interested in learning more about astrology, and more specifically learning about astrology and how you can apply it to your life, how you can apply it to your relationships and your work, I would invite you to check out your Stellar Center. That's my group coaching program. It's a 6-month commitment. The cost starts at $99 per month, and I'm currently enrolling through Friday the 25th. You can find all of the information for your Stellar Center linked in my bio. And the last thing that I wanted to share is, this is just a snippet of what you could learn from your astrological birth chart when you enroll in your Stellar Center. Like I said, this is something we talk about throughout the whole program. The whole program is astrology, astrologically based, looking at your chart, but you will also get a bonus masterclass that I filmed where I go into the details of what these different planets and placements could mean, what your sun means, what your moon means, what your Mercury and your Venus means, and what the planets that I look for, especially when I'm consulting with someone about their development, their life's path, their purpose, their work. And so that bonus masterclass you'll get as soon as you enroll. Our first call is 1 week from today. It's 1 week from today, and we're going to be diving into the energy of Libra season, what our values are, and what it means to be balanced. So again, if anything in this little short live spoke to you, I encourage you to check out your chart. I encourage you to check out your stellar center, and please feel free to DM me if you have any questions about the group. The program website is pretty detailed, so look at that first. And I encourage you with this and with everything to go with your gut. Go with what's speaking to you, what's sparking something in you. Now more than ever, we need to surround ourselves with people and practices and communities that light us up, that give us hope, that fuel our fire. And your stellar center is one of those that I've created, and it does that for me, and I know for the other individuals in the group. So if it's speaking to you, I'd love to have you join us. Again, all the information can be found in the link in my bio, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. Bye, friends.